If you are tossing food scraps into the trash, you are throwing away one of the most valuable soil building tools you will ever touch. And here's the uncomfortable truth most gardeners never hear. Composting fails not because people don't try hard enough, but because they are taught to do it wrong from the start. The result is smelly piles, slow breakdown, pests, and compost that never actually improves soil structure or plant health. I've seen it in backyard gardens, allotments, and even well-funded operations that should know better. Today, I want to reset the way you think about compost completely, not as waste management but as controlled biological engineering. By the end of this guide, you'll understand how to compost faster, cleaner, and in a way that actually builds living soil instead of dead organic matter. Compost works because it feeds soil life, not because it looks finished. The real power of compost has nothing to do with how dark or crumbly it looks. So, compost works because it feeds bacteria, fungi, protozoa, worms, and really, the entire underground food web that turns minerals into plant nutrition. When compost is done right, it improves soil aggregation, increases water retention, improves aeration, and creates disease-resistant plants that can, fend for themselves. This is why soils amended with compost grow deeper roots, suffer less from drought stress, and show fewer pest issues. Compost doesn't just add nutrients, it activates biology. That distinction is where most gardeners, honestly, go wrong. Composting also saves money and prevents nutrient loss at scale. An average household throws away hundreds of pounds of kitchen waste every year. Every banana peel, carrot top, coffee ground, and wilted leaf contains nutrients that plants already know how to use once microbes unlock them. So, when those scraps end up in a landfill, they actually rot without oxygen and release methane, which is a greenhouse gas that's way more destructive than carbon dioxide. But when those same scraps go into a properly managed compost system, they become stable organic matter that, feeds the soil for years to come. Composting is honestly not just about your own garden, it's really about keeping nutrients cycling locally, instead of, letting them bleed out into the atmosphere. Traditional compost piles work best when things like volume, air, and moisture are actually controlled. The classic compost pile or bin is still one of the most effective systems, when space allows. The key is size and structure. A pile smaller than roughly 3 feet by 3 feet will, struggle to retain heat and break down efficiently. The materials must be layered with intention, alternating nitrogen-rich greens like kitchen scraps and grass clippings with carbon, each brown, brown, such as leaves, straw, or cardboard. Moisture should be maintained at the level of a wrung-out sponge. Too dry and honestly, biology shuts down. Too wet and the pile turns anaerobic. Turning is not optional. Each turn reintroduces oxygen and resets microbial activity. If you want to speed things up, turn when internal temperatures peak and begin to drop. This keeps decomposition in the thermophilic zone where pathogens are destroyed and materials break down faster. Tumblers and small bins succeed only with frequent movement and fine inputs. Smaller composting systems work best when gardeners adjust expectations and technique. Because tumblers and compact bins lack volume, they require more frequent turning to maintain heat. Ingredients must be chopped finely to increase surface area, and moisture must be monitored closely. Worm composting, turns kitchen scraps into this amazing biological concentrate. Vermicomposting operates on a different biological scale compared to traditional composting. Composting worms, they're pretty remarkable. They convert food scraps into castings that are just packed with enzymes, beneficial microbes, and nutrients that plants can actually use. The system really succeeds when moisture, airflow, and bedding are all balanced just right. Using shredded paper, coconut coir, or even aged leaves helps create structure and, importantly, prevents compaction. Bokashi fermentation, it actually solves problems that regular compost piles just can't handle. Bokashi composting fills a critical gap in the process. It lets you process things like meat, dairy, and cooked foods safely, all through anaerobic fermentation. The key here is to keep oxygen out and use inoculated bran, which introduces the specific microbes needed for fermentation. Seeing white mold is a good sign that things are working. But strong odors, or the appearance of green and black molds, those are not signs of success. Honestly, the biggest composting failure is when anaerobic conditions happen by accident. Most compost problems, when you get right down to it, trace back to losing oxygen in the pile. Too many greens can create these slimy, foul-smelling piles that just stall decomposition. The fix, though, is always the same. Add carbon and give the pile a really thorough turn. You know, smell is actually a really useful diagnostic tool when it comes to composting. Healthy compost should smell earthy, kind of like fresh soil. If you notice bad smells, it usually means the biology inside your pile is suffocating. And pests, well, they're often just another symptom of poor management. To keep rodents and flies out, food scraps must always be buried beneath carbon-rich layers. Compost should never, ever be left exposed, otherwise you're just inviting trouble. So, if you're aiming to speed things up, remember that speed comes from preparation movement and microbial inoculation. If you want compost faster, try reducing the particle size before materials even enter the pile. Also, turn your compost more frequently to maintain oxygen. And don't forget to introduce biology deliberately by using finished compost worm castings or some active compost. You know, coffee grounds can increase microbial activity and heat when used in moderation. Composting is not passive, it's actually an active biological process that rewards attention. Compost done right replaces fertilizer because it builds systems, not shortcuts. When compost is managed properly, it transforms soil into a self-feeding ecosystem. Nutrients are released gradually as plants demand them. Water is held where roots can access it. Disease pressure drops. Fertilizer dependency fades because the soil does the work. This is not theory. It is how natural systems function, and it is how serious gardeners build resilience year after year. If this guide helped reset how you think about composting, subscribe to the Nature's Fix, share this with another grower who's struggling with their pile, and keep building soil that works with you instead of against you.